weeks can show a lot of growth and maturity. Certainly, 6-2, kind of positively trending right now. It's not always the greatest time to go into a break, but I thought the guys did a good job. I thought they were engaged. I thought their brains were engaged. You always want to go into a bye week with how can you get better? What can you accomplish? I thought systematically we did a lot of good things. Certainly worked on a lot of, probably facets of our game that we saw in Ferris that maybe, limited us being on that smaller ice. So we took some time to kind of break down the game and just look at how we can get better. And I thought we did a good job at that. Certainly early on Friday, there was the eyes were a little bit wide, a little bit big, but I thought we figured it out for the most part Friday. Saturday was a little bit disappointing. To be honest, they buzzed us. They did a great job. And you look at even Ferris last weekend against Lake State, they're a sneaky team. They play hard. They certainly against us pinned their ears back and had a lot of OZP against us. But like I said, it's just going into a bye week. It allows you to sit back, look at it a little bit differently, and just find how they kind of exposed us, and then really just work on that and try to get better, and then obviously take that into Mankato this weekend. I think we're still searching a little bit. But it's just quality of play, right? We've like you said, we're 6-2. We've played 8 games. I do think the quality of play that we've had in those 8 games, we've had probably 3 or 4 games where just from a scoring chance differential, from a shot differential, we've really, had the advantage in that. And I think if you're looking at that, okay, it's how can we create those opportunities multiple times in multiple games? And when we can kind of get maybe 2 out of every 3 games where we have, those types of scoring chance differential advantages with the shot advantages. I think for the most part, we're going to come out on top, unless you run into a hot goalie or whatever, things happen in sports. So I like where we're at with that. It's just continue to play with our identity and then find an even greater level of consistency night in and night out. You look at, just his one-timer goal. He did from Max, he did a great job of, driving possession off it and then essentially just getting open. If you look at what goal scorers do, they don't naturally just drift into cover. They kind of wait for cover to move away from them, and they're not skating all over the place. Steven was just very patiently, off a roll, kind of just standing there, and great shot. Didn't handle it, took a one-timer through screened eyes and did a great job on that. If you look at his goal against Northern, essentially the breakaway goal, he went 5-hole, just beat a guy up ice. It's just playing inside at the right times and not sitting in coverage. And Steven's doing a great job at that, and he's obviously getting rewarded for it, and that's certainly helping us. I don't know if concern is the word, because he has had some, incredible chances. Certainly on the assist he got where Jack scored, that was a wide open net. But it's just like with anything, right? We look at it with any type of player. Okay, are you generating offense? What are your scoring chances like? If you look at our, expected goals individually per game, Isaac Gordon is, if he doesn't lead us, he's within the top 2 or 3. So statistically, he's involved. Statistically on the score sheet, he's not. But like I said, and I think I talked about this the last time I was, on this, was that if he's not getting scoring chances and he's not generating shot attempts, then we have to kind of take it to a different level in terms of okay, why aren't we doing that? Now, he's certainly involved in a ton of scoring chances for. So, does he need to continue to learn the game and generate more? Yes. But if you're generating 5-6 scoring chances a night and not necessarily scoring, at some point you hope that those chances come to fruition and he puts them in consistently. Yeah, I mean, if you look at how goal scorers can be, it can be streaky. Now, the biggest thing for Isaac is, he has 5 assists. So trying to, and that's being a scorer and being streaky, you have to kind of develop the next level of your game so that you don't, even if you're not scoring, you're still generating offense. I mean, I saw a great interview. It was like McDavid, and he wasn't, I think this was last year or whatever, and he wasn't scoring, but he had, he ended up with like 100 assists or something. He wasn't necessarily worried about that because he was generating offense, through a multitude of different situations. He's getting a ton of assists. I mean, that's kind of the thing for growth because it's harder to score. And that's the biggest thing that we talk about with any of our guys. Like, work ways through, work your way through generating offense in many different ways. And sometimes that ends up being like improving your passing game and improving like your play away from the puck or finding guys that play well away from the puck. And then, if he has like 10 assists in 8 games right now and hasn't scored, like then, he's probably looking at it too a little bit differently. So we're kind of looking at it from that way, like how can we grow his game to continually help him when the scoring isn't necessarily there. It's just consistency, right? Like you're looking through, like Tom, obviously a freshman, Laurie and Trev not, but the things that make them successful are how hard they are on the puck, like how they support each other from forechecking, how they generate offense through essentially like offensive zone play. And that was kind of the message to them, like certainly over the bye week is like, look at what you guys, look at how you're successful. And they're successful through kind of that pace and energy when they play with. They get caught in those games like, certainly the Ferris weekend where the pace and the energy and the forechecking like isn't necessarily there. Then I do think that line, like you saw, can potentially go flat. So, that's just, once again, I kind of go to the word consistency. If they can understand like to turn everything into a 200-foot game and create your success off of what your strengths are. And if you look like Tom, Trev, Laurie, they're all really good forecheckers. So to me, like get the puck as far away from your net as possible, make the D play under duress and do what you do offensively and get to the good areas like you saw the weekend before. Certainly with Marcus's size, I think when he engages, plays with his size, plays like a power forward, adds that element because he's successful. He does have good skill. It's just got to be that like the consistent driving, want to get on top of pucks when you get it. Like he's 6'3", he's big, he's rangy. Protect it, take guys on, create open reads for yourself through doing that, and then obviously just get to the net. Like his goal that he scored was just an ugly, grindy goal, and I mean they all count, and it's like that's where he needs to play. When he's on a line that potentially, like say he's with Stiv and Max, and those guys have great skill, he's got to kind of be the guy, the big power forward guy that goes and gets the puck, that turns pucks over and then creates time and space for those guys because that's what those guys do really well. Like Max and Steven are unbelievable in creating time and space. And when Marcus is successful, he's driving possession, getting them the puck, and then he's getting to areas where he has opportunities to score. And that's how lines drive each other, and that's how they become, a complement to each other and become successful. If we're really looking to gauge ourselves early, here's your gauge. And the next 8 games are, there's going to be a lot of definition of what our team actually is through this. And yeah, like I think they're 16th in the pairwise or whatever. They're right behind us in the standings. There's a ton to play for. Now it's going to be a hard, grindy game. It's going to be a hard, grindy series. Special teams are going to play a big part of it. And then really it's just going to be like who's going to kind of impose their will more than the other team. Like if we do everything we can from a forechecking standpoint, make their D play under duress, want to play or generate offense through that, then we're probably going to be successful. If they play the same type of game that we want to play, flip it on us, then it's going to be tough for us. So we have to be able to play fast. We have to be able to play hard. We have to dictate, through pace, competitive desire, whatever you want to call it, for us to be successful. And it's going to be a tall challenge because they're a good hockey team. Shot attempts, traffic, certainly very good goalie. They're a stingy team. It's not going to be easy, but it's just like anything, right? Like you try to get into the areas, you try to cross the goalie's eyes, you try to, get pucks to the net, find pucks through layers, and through that, hopefully you can get some ugly goals. And then if you get opportunities on the special, like power play, you get opportunities with grade A's, finish your grade A's. You know, like if you let him see pucks and you let him get set, he's going to be a very good goalie. Goalies, you know, they struggle when they have to move. They struggle when they can't see the puck. We have to do our best to make it very hard on him in that capacity, and hopefully can, you know, break his 1.37 or whatever it is, because that's a low goals against. So, like Northern, I think played them pretty tough. So they're going to be, you know, whether they're happy or not, they're going to be coming in with a lot to play for. Obviously, I think. You know, we'll see. You never really know off bye weeks. I would think that we're going to be ready. Certainly, the bye week is over. We have essentially 3 days to get ready, because Thursday's, you know, day before the game type practice. So you have 3 days to get ready. Guys basically have to, you know, be engaged. We have to, you know, get better at special teams. We have to get better on our forecheck. We have to do everything we can to increase our chances of having a great weekend against them.